I want to talk about the way right-wing propaganda has fundamentally brainwashed conservatives out of believing in their own core values, starting with memes like this. This meme reads, "Imagine being so brainwashed by liberal propaganda that you protest against safer streets." Now, that meme refers to the fact that the US military is being deployed against US citizens. Now, the people who are sharing that meme are the same type of people who fly this flag. Well, what does this flag represent? What does "Don't Tread on Me" mean? An in-depth history lesson about the origin and evolution of the meaning of that flag would probably cause most of you to stop watching the video, so I'm going to summarize it with the AI overview. The consistent meaning throughout the flag's history has been that it represents the principle of individual liberty and the right to resist interference with one's freedom. Most importantly, and this is key, symbolizing resistance to government overreach. I would actually get rid of the word "often" in this sentence. Because you see, traditionally, conservatives have been opposed to big government, which is one of the few principles that I thought I had in common with them. Because you see, before MAGA, conservatives actually strongly believed in the US Constitution, constitutional rights. Because you see, before MAGA, the idea of law enforcement entering people's homes and detaining people with no warrants and deploying the military against US citizens would have outraged conservatives. I promise you. So, back to this meme. Liberals are protesting against the military being deployed on US citizens, which is government overreach. Now, modern conservatives are referring to the deployment of the US military against citizens as safer streets. Well, they're out there to keep us safer. In other words, conservatives are so brainwashed that they believe the US military is being deployed against US citizens to keep us safer. Which everyone should be aware is the very excuse that every government has given throughout history for taking rights away from its citizens and becoming authoritarian. So, why is the government violating your constitutional rights? Why is the government deploying the military against you? It's because they want to keep you safer, because they care about you. That is what they believe. That is how brainwashed they are today. Now, I believe it was 3 or 4 months ago that I made the prediction that within a year or two, the Trump administration would be revoking the right to bear firearms from its citizens. Well, it happened a lot sooner than I thought. Now, I'm sure a lot of you were going to say, oh, well, that's only a problem if you're transgender. If I'm not transgender, this isn't my problem. This is where history is helpful. Let's look at Adolf Hitler and the Nazis, and when they started disarming citizens. Did they just disarm everybody at once, or did they begin with political opponents and start moving their way up? Now, if the government can label everyone who's against fascism as a domestic terrorist, they can start taking guns away from everyone who's anti-fascist. So it doesn't end at transgender people losing that right, which there's no justification for. It then becomes everyone who's against fascism losing that right, i.e., political opponents. Many conservatives will not have an issue with this because they'll think it's only political opponents of the government that'll have this right taken away from them, and they're not political opponents, so they'll be fine. Undermining the core value behind why we have a Second Amendment in this country. They also want to violate the First Amendment by making us a Christian country. But Christian country is going to have to mean a certain denomination of Christianity, namely evangelical Christianity. But are you a Baptist, a Methodist, a Catholic? I mean, if you're not falling under what they deem the right brand of Christianity, you're going to be considered a non-Christian. And I'm telling you now, it is going to be used as a justification for taking your guns away from you. It's an open note test, and you're fucking failing it. I don't know what else to tell you. You're brainwashed.